In this episode, I sit down with Lucy Mejia, owner of Junk Luggers of Atlanta Metro East. On the surface, junk removal sounds simple. You point to stuff, somebody hauls it away, and you move on. But what Lucy is building is something very different. It's a business built around sustainability, community impact, and doing the hard, unglamorous work with a level of care most people don't expect. Lucy shares how her upbringing sparked a passion for reusing and recycling, the winding path that took her from environmental work into full-time motherhood, and how the pandemic became the unexpected moment that pushed her to build something of her own. We also get into what it actually takes to run this kind of operation, building and training a crew, managing safety and insurance, tracking landfill diversion, and why business development and relationships have been her most reliable growth engine. And there are a few stories in here you won't forget. A 3-story home packed with paper, money falling out of TVs during an eviction, and the emotional side of estate cleanouts and hoarding situations, and what it looks like to bring compassion into work that most people never want to think about. If you're building a service business, leading a team, or you just want a behind-the-scenes look at what it takes to run an operation with real purpose, you're going to get a lot out of this conversation. Let's get into it. Thanks, Lucy. Thanks for joining me today. I've been really excited about this one and just really looking forward to getting into it.
I appreciate you having
Yeah.
me today. Thank you,
Yeah.
Carlos.
So why don't we start with this? I know that we spoke a few times at different events in the community here in Gwinnett and different networking stuff, but I don't think I've quite ever got a chance to hear your story. And when I knew that we scheduled this podcast, I was like, let me just save all these questions. So why don't we start just kind of where are you from? Where did you grow up? What's your story?
Yeah. So I'm born and raised here in Atlanta. Grew up around DeKalb County
Okay.
area and spent summers in Tennessee. So I'm a little bit of a city and country girl at the same
Okay.
time, right? Love living in the city, love visiting the
Mhm.
country. Born and raised, and then you stayed here, right?
Yeah, it's
So
quite a unicorn in these parts. Like nobody is from here, born and raised.
yeah, I say, I'm an AT alien at
Yeah.
heart, and I don't know if I'll ever move.
Yeah. Yeah, I also was born and raised in the Atlanta area, like South Side, Peachtree City, Fayette County area. But that's one of the things that I tend to get a lot is like, wait, like you're actually from here?
Right.
You're not from somewhere else. That's cool. What took you up to Tennessee?
So my mom moved to Tennessee up there with my brother and my
Okay.
stepdad.
Gotcha. Okay.
And so, yeah, we would spend, every other weekend up
Mhm.
there, the whole
Yeah.
summer there, doing all kinds of
Oh,
camping
cool.
and caving.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
So
Nice.
outdoors,
Mhm. Yeah.
so it got me out of the city and
Mhm.
into the country. And so I appreciate the environment.
Yeah.
And that's what kind of led me into where I am today.
Mhm.
My stepdad, he used to work construction, was a welder, and also got into like scrapping metal and worked at the
Okay.
scrap
Oh,
yard.
interesting.
And we'd find stuff on the side of the road and fix it
Mm.
up and put it in our own
Yeah.
homes. And then it got me into like, hey, reusing things,
Mhm.
recycling things, and being more
Yeah.
sustainable.
Okay.
And so that's where my passion kind
Yeah.
of came from.
hmm Is there a particular project or thing off the scrap heap from your childhood that sticks out?
I mean, we got a lot of like little metal pieces
Mhm.
that my stepdad would like fix up.
Mhm.
We, got all kinds of furniture and would
Yeah.
restain it
Mhm.
and put it in our home, and it looked like brand new. No
Yeah.
one would ever know.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Did you guys ever try to flip like projects or like create
He
something to
always
resell?
was like, "Oh, this is my retirement package. I'm gonna, scrap all this metal."
Yeah.
But no, I have done that a
Mhm.
little bit throughout, my
Yeah.
adulthood,
Mhm.
where hey, I'm not using this thing anymore. I'm gonna
Right.
put it
Mhm.
on, marketplace for
Mhm.
resale.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
It tends to be something I hear from a lot of entrepreneurs that they had this little spark somewhere before and they were, picking little things up and selling them here
Oh
and
yeah.
there.
Oh yeah.
So what about school? Did you go to school here in Georgia area as well?
I did.
Yeah.
So yeah, DeKalb County school system.
Mhm.
Then went to Georgia State
Okay.
University.
Yeah.
Got my master's there
Mhm.
in environmental geology and
Okay.
geosciences.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
And then did you use that degree when you first graduated, or what was before junk luggers, I guess?
Yeah, so, I've had an interesting, kind of career in work ethic. I started working for my dad when I was 14 years
Okay.
old. He was an entrepreneur or
Mhm.
is an entrepreneur, and he was a photographer, now is an anger management counselor. But I worked with
Oh, interesting.
him through college, then worked in the lab in college,
Mhm.
was the lab manager in the
Okay.
XRD
What's
lab.
that?
So we analyze samples for its composition,
Okay.
and so managed the lab. Out
Mhm.
of college, I ended up interviewing for environmental consultant positions,
Mhm.
and quickly realized it was 75% travel.
Oh, wow.
I'd
Yeah.
just gotten married to my husband,
Mhm.
Ricardo,
Yeah.
and, I'm like, "Well, 75%
Yeah.
travel, that's gonna be tough if we wanna start a family."
Mhm.
So, I transitioned and decided, "Okay, well, I'm gonna look for GIS positions." I worked for City of Atlanta Watershed Management. I did a couple internships there,
Mhm.
in college, and then worked for Southern Company Gas doing
Okay. Yep.
GIS work,
Mhm.
thematic mapping, project management,
Mhm.
that kinda stuff.
What is that GIS mapping, like, how does Southern Company use that? It's for, like, I don't
Yeah.
know, like, yeah,
Yeah,
what.
so, Southern Company Gas, there's pipelines
Mhm.
underneath all our roadways that
Mhm.
bring us gas into our
Okay.
businesses and into our homes,
Mhm.
right? And, there were major pipeline replacement projects.
Okay.
Everything needs to be mapped out
Mm.
because we need to know exactly what's in the ground, what kind of pressure, what size
Mhm.
piping. I was the head of taking care of making sure that everything was in our system correctly, talking to the project managers on site
Mhm.
to make sure everything was in our system
Yeah.
accurately, because you don't want to dig in an area
Mhm.
and there's a pipe there and have a major leak happen
Mhm.
or,
Yeah. Yeah.
incident
Or
happen.
yeah, life and death type stuff.
Oh, yeah.
I remember I used to work in software, and sometimes we would have these crazy deadlines. We'd all be freaking out, and there was a more senior partner kind of at the consultant firm that was like, "Guys, I worked on software projects for hospitals and ambulances. Like that was stressful. Like that was life or death. This is not the end of the world if we miss a deadline. So I'm sure it was interesting, but also could be pretty a little bit stressful,
It
like at
was,
work. Yeah.
yeah, very interesting. I loved working there. The people there were fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
And then I did thematic mapping too,
Mm-hmm.
where I would talk to the engineers. They would put in a request, "Hey, I need this shown on this map. Draw some polygons around this area because these are the areas we're going to be working in." And so that
Yeah.
was a really fun
Cool.
thing to do too.
Well, interesting, but clearly not it for you, right? Because you made a transition. So was it from that to junk luggers?
Actually, I was a stay-at-home mom for
Okay.
4
Okay.
years.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
Yeah.
so had my son and
Okay.
decided to stay home with
Mm-hmm.
him. And then once the pandemic hit,
Yeah.
I'd had my daughter in like 5 months before the pandemic
Okay.
started.
Yep.
I never expected to be a full-time stay-at-home mom
Mm-hmm.
for their whole
Right.
childhood. My plan was to get back in the workforce after they went to elementary
Mm-hmm.
school. But timeline kind of sped up during the
Yeah.
pandemic because I was going nuts,
Mm.
to be
Yeah.
honest. It's like, I need to do something. And now I can work from home because everybody's
Yeah.
working from
Mm-hmm.
home. So I was about to reach out to my old boss because he had always told me, "Hey, Lucy, there's always a position here
Right.
for you. Just reach out if you want to
Mm-hmm.
come back and call me first," kind of
Okay. Yeah.
thing. So yeah, I was about to call him,
Mm-hmm.
and that's when my husband was like, "Well, what if we start our own business
Mm.
instead?" That led us down the
Yeah.
path of the junk luggers. We
Mm-hmm.
found a franchise advisor, financial
Okay.
advisor, and went down that exploration
Mm-hmm.
of finding a business that we would be interested in
Right.
doing.
Yeah.
And the junk luggers just stood out
Yeah.
immediately.
Tell me a little bit about the franchise advisor. Maybe what they do, what their job is. That's something I've heard about, but I think it's before I got introduced to it, I was like, that was like a job that I just never even thought would
Yeah.
exist. So I think it's pretty cool. Why don't you share a little bit about that
Oh,
process?
absolutely. Yeah, because I knew that I didn't want to do a startup,
Mm-hmm.
especially with two small children at home. I needed that
Mm-hmm.
backbone, that support. So that's when we found our franchise advisor. and she interviewed us and our interests and our skills and our goals and kind of, matched us, right? So she presented us with several options that were available. And I didn't realize how many
Yeah.
different franchises there are and what different industries I could like potentially be in.
Right.
And I was like, oh, wow, there's like just so many options. But it was great having her support and guidance because she was able to match us with things that were aligned with us. And so when those options presented itself, I knew immediately
Yeah.
which one it was. My husband was like, well, let's explore the other
What
ones.
options were on the table for him? Maybe not necessarily for you.
Right. Because he does have a day job. He's, like he has a career. And so I'm running the business. So I'm in there day in, day out. This is my, my baby. Right. We knew because, I mean, it aligned with all of my passions, with all of my goals.
Yeah.
And it's something that I was really interested in doing because I didn't want to just create a job for myself. I wanted to create something that would get me through those hard times. Yeah.
It's interesting, because you say you knew right away. It's not necessarily something I'd say is glamorous, right? Most businesses that print money aren't, right? There's like a saying about boring businesses do really, really well. But what about it just attracted you so much, right? Because a lot of people be like, junk, no, right, without even really thinking about it.
Right. Well, with the junk luggers, we do have a mission to keep and divert reusable items from the landfill. And so that was like super attractive to me because of my background in, reusing things, recycling with the environment, keeping, and then helping the community too. So we have over 20 different donation partners we work with that I was able to find by networking and reaching out to nonprofits for the things that they're looking for and they need, and then able to reach my fillers out from the environmental background for recyclers in the area to recycle over 8 different types of materials.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Is there a metric or like a KPI that you guys track that people would be just completely surprised by?
So we are in the, kind of beta process of tracking. We've been tracking commercial work on diversion of, the weight that we recycle.
Okay.
So we use the EPA standards and weights on like metals, cardboard, pallets, tires, mattresses, because we recycle all those things.
Yeah.
And so we're able to enter that into our system and get a ballpark of how much weight we're recycling.
Okay. Diversion from landfills?
That's right.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. Do you have like specific goals that you guys are tracking? Like, is this like a new metric that you guys are tracking or?
Yeah, so it's fairly new. We've been doing it for about 6 months now.
Okay.
Always have been diverting, but never really tracked it in an appropriate way.
Gotcha.
And so I'm excited to, kind of roll it out to the public next year to, put it in our invoice.
Yeah.
Hey, we diverted this much weight from the landfill from doing your job, right?
Gotcha. That's cool. Is that a local initiative for you, or that's a Junk Luggers
National?
Very cool. Very cool. How has their support been for you? And is it maybe something that was easier than you thought, or worse, or harder than you thought was going to be?
Oh, yeah. So, I mean, the first year business is always like drinking through a fire hose, right? And especially if you're coming into a business that you've never done before.
Yeah.
So their support has been imperative because, I have a business coach that I meet with twice a month. We have our call center, we have our national accounts team, our marketing team, operations team, all at headquarters. And then we also have Slack channel where, all the franchisee owners are talking to each other every day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's neat.
Yeah.
How big is your team now?
So I have 6 crew. So 6 crew team members, and then I run the operations, marketing, all of that stuff. Yeah.
So, do you? I guess you don't maybe have a typical day. Is it just kind of go in cycles, or what does that look like for you wearing so many different hats?
I get up and I meet with a crew every morning. So we're in the warehouse at 6:30,
Okay.
going through, pulling the trucks around, seeing what's in the truck, see what we can consolidate, what we can recycle,
Yeah.
donate from the day before,
Mm-hmm.
and then get them ready, do our huddle,
Yeah.
get ready for the day, and then I'm, to work with
Mm-hmm.
emails, everything before I'm out the door, and
Yeah.
I'm doing networking and
Mm-hmm.
podcasts
Yeah.
and then our
Yeah.
calls with all our vendors as
Mm-hmm.
well. Hmm.
Yeah, I think for anybody that follows you on LinkedIn, they probably share the same sentiment as me. Like, you don't stop.
No.
You're like constantly at different events and doing different things. And do you have a favorite or one that is close to your heart?
That's hard. I mean, I love being with my team,
Mm-hmm.
so it's really important for me to see them and there with them every day.
Yeah.
I love the kind of running around.
Mm-hmm.
So, because I sat at a desk for a long
Yeah.
time,
Mm-hmm.
and so the being a business owner, I'm able to set my own schedule
Yeah.
now. And I'm a busybody.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't like to just sit there at the same spot all the time every
Yeah.
day.
Mm-hmm.
Some days I have my admin days where I'm like, all right,
Gotta
let's
sit
just
down.
just
Yeah.
focus and sit
Mm-hmm.
down. But for the most part, I am running around,
Yeah.
and that's kind of my
Mm-hmm. What
favorite
you
part.
enjoy?
Yeah.
What do those admin days consist of for you? Like, what do you typically
Oh,
have your
yeah.
heads down on?
So our books, right?
Okay.
So financials,
Mhm.
getting all those, said. I have metrics that
Mhm.
I keep track of every
Mhm.
day, from, the revenue to how much our expenses are
Mhm.
to, our disposal rate, and then our recycling as well.
Mhm.
So, yeah, talking with our vendors for, the marketing for, all kinds of different things
Mhm.
that come with the
Right.
business.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
What's your I guess what does your lead pipeline look like? Like, how are people coming in and conversion rates and all that kind of stuff?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we have all kinds of marketing going on,
Mhm.
but the one that's been the most successful is me being out there and doing
Interesting.
business
Mhm.
development.
Mhm.
Hmm.
Yeah. I see a lot of the signs out on the side of the road. You get stuff from that too, or you're not? I guess I don't know, how would you even track that? You have like specific phone numbers on those, or?
We don't have a
Okay.
specific phone number,
Yeah.
but when people call in, it is important for them to let us know.
Yeah.
That's one of our first questions we ask is, how do you hear about us?
Mm-hmm.
Right. And so that's how we're able to track where things are coming from. With our digital marketing, we do have tracking
Right.
numbers that lead and are automatically, put
Mhm.
in so that we know that,
Yeah.
hey, this person came from the internet
Mhm.
or from the yard sign or a referral.
Yeah.
But yeah, or a mailer.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
For somebody that maybe doesn't know, myself included, I guess, before I started doing some research on you guys, right? Like, what differentiators are there for you versus other ones, right? Because I think there's a tendency, at least for me, like I said before, I started doing a little bit of prep for this, was that almost like it's commoditized, right? Oh, I'm just gonna get, I'm gonna call whoever I need to get this junk called away, right? So what's different about you guys, or that I think people should know?
Well, we have great customer service.
Mm-hmm.
My team is a jolly bunch. We're always laughing, having a good time, taking care of our
Mm-hmm.
customer, sweeping up after the job.
Yep.
But the main differentiator, but beyond that, is that we are eco-friendly, community
Yeah.
oriented. So, and my team make a huge emphasis on, hey, we're going to separate out the materials and sort it in the truck to the way that we can efficiently offload the items that can be diverted from the landfill
Mm-hmm.
and keep in the circular economy.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, we're donating a lot, we're recycling a lot, and we're disposing of items properly
Mm-hmm.
so that we can take care of our environment, keep safe,
Yeah.
clean
Mm-hmm.
environment, as well as our beyond community, right? So people that are less fortunate that might need certain items, we're donating, those items
Mm-hmm.
to those over 20 different donation
Mm-hmm.
partners that we have that
Yeah.
need different kinds of things.
Yeah. What would you say are the top things that you guys divert? Like, what items?
So, furniture is a big
Mhm.
one, clothing, metals, cardboard, tires, mattresses. Those can be reused.
Yeah.
I know that people are like, "Oh, mattresses, how does that?" But
Yeah.
they are refurbished or they're taken apart, and their
Mm-hmm.
textiles are used and cleaned and recycled. So yeah.
What would you say is the thing that surprised you the most? Meaning, like, I can't believe, like, it didn't just happen once that somebody was getting rid of it. Like, it just happened over and over and over again that just surprised you from not being in the business before.
Um, I guess a lot of people have a hard time letting go. So that
Mm-hmm.
it wasn't surprising,
Yeah.
but it was, something that is always a challenge.
Mm-hmm.
They called us, so I expect them to be ready.
Gotcha.
But then when we get there, they're like, well, and then they're taking things out. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
well, never mind.
Yeah.
Also, we get new stuff too. So
Mm-hmm.
people are moving and they're like, you know what? I just don't never use this.
Mm-hmm.
And it makes me feel good because I know that my company's going to do the right thing
Right. Mm-hmm.
with these very good items
Mm-hmm.
that that people are no longer using or would have thrown away.
Mm-hmm. Has seeing people get rid of stuff changed your buying habits at all?
They've always been kind of conservative.
Yeah.
I'm like, use what you have.
Mm-hmm.
Find something that's used and you can reuse, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm all about like, the marketplace and resale. So not
Okay.
really.
Yeah.
I've always been a huge recycler
Mm-hmm.
and I'm trying to teach my kids the same
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What you just brought up your children. How old are they? Can you
So
remind me?
8 and 6.
8 and 6. Cool.
Yes.
Do you think they're at the point where they're starting to see what you do and that they're interested, or not, maybe not quite yet? Or
Oh yeah.
yeah.
So on their breaks, from school, I bring them into the warehouse with
Oh,
me. They're
cool.
with the
Mm-hmm.
crew and, having a good time with them. They have their little scooters at the
Yeah.
warehouse that they
Mm-hmm.
scoot around in, and then they see the crew doing work and they're like, "Oh, what are they doing?" And
Mm-hmm.
oh, okay. And so at home I see them like, "Hey, can this be recycled? Hey,"
Oh, cool.
and then we go through a purge before birthdays, before
Mm-hmm.
holidays to get rid of and donate
Mm-hmm.
things that they aren't using or
Right.
interested in
Yeah.
anymore. So they're like, "Oh, we can donate this."
Mm-hmm.
And so
That's super
it's been
cool.
really
Yeah.
great.
So
Yeah.
they're not gonna be hoarders.
I hope not. I don't know. We'll see about my
Yeah.
daughter.
That's funny. Do they in the warehouse, do they ever see stuff that they want and they're like, hey, yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Oh, yes. So, yeah, my husband's like, "All right, you're going to the warehouse today with the kids. Don't bring anything home." And I'm like, "Oh, good luck."
Yeah.
Yeah, my daughter, we did a big job with a guy who worked for a camera company,
Mm-hmm.
and he worked for them for 25
Okay.
years. So we have like a whole shelf of all these cameras from,
Mm-hmm.
like the old
Oh,
cameras.
interesting.
And so every time we go, she grabs one and brings one
Yeah.
home.
Like film cameras.
Film
Yeah.
cameras,
Wow.
yeah, video
Mm-hmm.
cameras, Polaroid
Mm-hmm.
cameras, yeah.
Has she been using them and you guys go get the film developed and everything? Like,
We just let her pretend.
gotcha. I was thinking that'd be cool. Like, kids have like no concept of that today. Like all
No.
digital and everything. It would be a neat thing to do with them.
Well, funny enough, we have like a rotary
Mm-hmm.
phone.
Oh,
Also, I
cool.
have kind of like a little, I guess memorabilia kind of
Mm-hmm.
shelf with all kind of old knickknacks.
Mm-hmm.
And so they know what a flip phone is. They know what a rotary phone is. But it was hilarious
Yeah.
because when my kids picked up the rotary phone, they put the speaker to their they didn't do
Yeah, they
this.
didn't do it that
They
way.
did this. So it was like, oh, they put the speaker to their mouth.
Yeah.
And I was like, no, this is how
Yeah,
you
this is
hold
how
the
the phone
phone.
works. Yeah. My son does the same thing with phones in the hotels.
Yeah.
That's the only time he could like find an actual phone.
Right.
And actually, his fascination with it went back to, I think he was maybe almost 3. We were at an all-inclusive resort, and we ordered pizza. He ordered a pizza, like whatever, 9 o'clock at night. And so now every time because he's only 4.5. So every time we go to a hotel, he picks up the phone and he's like, "Hello, I would like a pizza, please." He just thinks that he could just like free pizza everywhere at every
So
hotel.
cute.
So it's fun. What have you told him one thing? You're like, "Nope, we're not taking that. You cannot have this."
Yeah, the bigger items, right?
Yeah.
So we get all kinds of things like, kids' kitchen set,
Mm-hmm.
like
Mm.
the water tables,
Mm-hmm.
all kinds of different things where I'm like, we don't have room for that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so, or hey, why don't we keep it here?
Mm-hmm.
And then you can play with it
Yeah.
next time you come to work with
Yeah.
me.
How long are you guys holding on to that kind of stuff?
Typically goes out pretty fast.
Okay.
Our warehouse isn't huge,
Okay.
but it does hold a lot, and we consolidate, and the guys know how to pack things
Mm-hmm.
tight. But we have donation partners coming to us every week to do pickups.
Mm-hmm.
And then with our recycling too, once we get a full load, then we're off to
Mm-hmm.
the recycler with
Okay.
that.
Cool.
hmm
What what would you, if you had to break it down or categorize the types of removals, meaning this is just somebody just needed to have their garage cleaned out versus this is somebody that had, something tragic happen in their family. Like, what is like the breakdown of the types of, I guess, customers that come to you?
We do about 65% commercial.
Okay.
The rest is residential. So we're doing anything from office cleanouts to dumpster corral
Mhm.
cleanups, bulk items. We work with a lot of apartments.
Okay.
So when people skip out there, they leave their stuff behind, and we come in and
Interesting.
clear that unit for
Mhm.
the community.
Yeah.
And then residential, we can do anything from one item, like a refrigerator,
Mm-hmm.
to full house, full estate cleanouts.
Gotcha. When people skip out, I don't know why, I just assume when somebody skips out that it's maybe not in the best shape and that it's kind of dirty. Like, is there a line where you're like, hey, this is too dirty and you need to get somebody else, like kind of hazmat type stuff, or what? I'm sure you have things that you aren't willing to do, I'm guessing.
There are a few, but our crew, they get down and get dirty. I do too. So like when we have like a collector or hoarder situation happen, then I'm going in there and helping them as well. But the
Mm-hmm.
things that we kind of typically will put off
Mm-hmm.
and need another expert involved in is like if there is any kind of infestation,
Mm-hmm.
bed
Yeah.
bugs, stuff like that, then we'll request pest control to come in, and we can be your full concierge. I
Mm-hmm.
have all the
Yep.
resources. So if you
Like
want
run
me to
point.
take care
Yep.
of it, then I will. And then
Mm-hmm.
we can just, we just bill accordingly,
Yep.
right? Um, but yeah, pest control would need to come in,
Mm-hmm.
exterminate, make sure everything's
Yeah.
good, and then that's when my team can come in
Gotcha.
and take care
Yeah.
of all the items.
Okay. What is there a particular story or thing that your team like still talks about to this day, or case that stands out?
Oh, yes. So we did a house. It was a 2,600 square foot home, 3 stories, and it was packed to the brim with paper.
Hmm.
So I mean, taller than me, paper through in every single
Whoa.
room, and paper's really heavy.
Mm-hmm.
Once you get that much volume of
Yeah.
paper, it's hard to deal
Mm-hmm.
with.
Like
Uh,
bills or printed out
Oh,
paper,
everything.
just
Like newspapers,
uh,
magazines, books, receipts. I mean, this person did not throw
a
a
single
single piece of
paper.
paper away. And so we cleaned it out in 4 days,
Mm-hmm.
and it was 13 truckloads. And we were able to recycle 30,000 pounds of paper.
Wow. Wow. Do you ever figure out like why or what the deal was with the paper? Or is there just
The homeowner had passed away,
Mm-hmm.
so the probate attorney and real estate agent called me
Mm-hmm.
and said, "Hey, can your team handle this?"
Yeah.
And so I went and did the estimate, and I was like, "We got this,
Mm-hmm.
no problem."
Yeah.
There was one delay because it was raining,
Mm-hmm.
and we can't bring paper to
Yeah.
the recycler wet.
Yep.
So we had one day delayed, but
Mm-hmm.
besides that, we were able to get it
Yeah.
out for them
What
quickly.
does something like that cost to like 13 truckloads?
13 truckloads. So we typically charge $675 for a full truck.
Mm-hmm.
And then in that case, there was labor also
Mm-hmm.
included.
Yeah.
hmm
And the person was deceased, so who pays for that?
So that was the probate. The estate paid for it. He
Mhm.
had no family.
Yeah.
So it all went to the probate
Mhm.
attorney to take care
Oh,
of
gotcha.
after that.
Are there ever cases where
there is no money there is no money in the estate to pay for something, and then what happens?
So typically an investor will come in and say, hey, I see potential in this
Okay.
house, and then the investor takes on that
Yeah.
responsibility.
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. What I know you've talked a lot about customer service and how you guys are different. Is there a particular moment that stands out of like where one of your team members just was super compassionate with somebody?
Oh, absolutely. So yeah, I mean, we have customers of all, ages of life. And so when, we're in like a senior's home, for instance, and they need something moved around,
Yeah.
my crew will be like, yeah, that's no problem.
Yeah.
I can, move this piece of furniture to that room, or this inside for you.
Yeah.
And then, we kind of can help
Mhm.
ease that burden.
Yeah.
We don't want them to get hurt either.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Just a little add on.
Yeah.
It sounds similar to like a handyman, like, get hired to do something, and then there's all the different pieces
Right.
that
Exactly.
people want to get fixed.
Yes. Yeah.
Cool. What has been your like most unexpectedly favorite part of this business?
Unexpectedly favorite part. I love that every day is different.
Mhm.
And learning from the other franchisee owners as well. We have locations all over the US. And so, just hearing their stories and what they're doing, inspires me
Mhm.
and then gives me ideas.
Yeah.
So that collaboration has really surprised me and enlightened me to, a whole another way of even approaching certain challenges.
Is there a particular idea that you learned from another franchisee that sticks out?
Oh gosh, there's so many.
Yeah.
Let's see. So, like we have, people in all areas, right, that are doing different things. So, for instance, we have a location in San Diego, and he was recycling and removing like boat ramps,
Okay.
and docks.
Mhm.
And so I was like, oh, we have a lake nearby that I can service.
Mhm.
That gives me an idea of
Yeah.
maybe I should reach out to people on the lake to see if that's something that we can help them
Yeah.
with.
And were you able to get some business?
So not yet.
Yeah, not
but
yet.
still working
Close.
on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Is there like maybe problems that are unique to different areas of the country or here maybe that's unique that other people don't have in other areas of the country?
So, weather is
Yeah.
always a thing, right? When there were fires in California,
Yeah.
we had some junk luggers out there help with that natural disaster relief. And then also Florida too, right? With a lot of
Yeah.
hurricanes and everything. Here, Hurricane Helene
Mhm.
hit certain areas of
Yeah.
Atlanta pretty hard and actually hit my house pretty hard. So my house flooded
Yep.
during
I
Hurricane
remember you
Helene.
saying that.
Yeah, and we actually just sold it.
Okay.
And so because it was just too much of a burden for us to have to deal with after that flood, because it's been flooded several times.
Yeah.
But yeah, to answer your question, weather is a huge thing in different areas of the country. So like whether it's snow, fires, or hurricanes, tornadoes,
Yeah.
right? Like we're there to help clean up after.
Gotcha. Yeah. So
Yeah.
that impacts the need. Do you ever go out of your service area like to help in those types of situations?
So we can,
Yeah.
when it makes sense, right?
Yeah.
So, our service area is pretty large. We do service like Brazelton down
Okay.
to Stockbridge over to
Mhm.
Covington and back
Okay.
up.
Yeah.
Our main service area is Gwinnett County, but yeah, we can go outside the
Yeah.
area to help out. If
Are you the only Junk Luggers franchisee in the area, or
we
is it
have three.
three? Okay. Yeah.
Mhm.
Cool. Yeah.
Yeah. So we work together.
Yeah,
We
I'm
talk
sure.
every
Yeah.
day. We give each other referrals all the time. And so
Yeah.
I'm confident when I'm sending them a referral that they'll be treated the same way that I would be, that
Yeah.
I would treat them. Yeah.
Is there a moment from one of your customers like that just really stuck with you emotionally, like a particular story that stands out?
It was actually another hoarding situation where the mother was moving into assisted living, and we were in her home. She'd already been moved to assisted living. There was an infestation issue happening, and I was just like devastated that she was living in that condition. And the her adult children were too, and they were like, I just can't believe this. And, and I'm on the phone with their mother, and she's like, I'm looking for this particular thing. And we were able to find it
Yeah.
for her. And, it's just like the
Can you
little
share what it
things.
was?
It was actually like a nose trimmer, like a nose hair trimmer. So, like, one of those little pins. And I was like, well, we're going to go through all this stuff and we're going to find that for
Yeah.
her. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, that's wild. Did you find out why it was special, or it was just like, no, I'm just gonna hand this thing over and I'm not
She
gonna
just
ask?
needed it.
Yeah. Whoa.
And then, whenever we're doing an estate clean out, I
Mhm.
always ask, hey, are there certain documents you're looking for? Of course, if we find any money, we will put that to the side for you.
Yeah.
Any valuables, I also present them pictures of family,
Yeah.
stuff like that, or friends, any kind of pictures. I always tell the crew, hey, put those to the side. Let's
Yeah.
ask them first if they want to keep these things. Yeah.
Is there anything that you guys have found where you're like, I don't know if I was supposed to find this, or like, I don't know, you said money, made me think like a suitcase with 50 grand or something in it. That would kind of freak me out, I think, if I found that in somebody's house.
We did an eviction before that was quite interesting in Southwest Atlanta. It was an eviction for a reason. There were like TVs all around, and we took the TVs off the walls, and money just fell from the TVs. And so we gave that to the landlord.
Yeah.
Been like, here's your rent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You remember about how much?
We didn't count it, but it was, they had money guns, if you know what that is. So you can kind of imagine what
Yep.
kind of place we're talking about.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. I'm following. I'm tracking. I had a friend that I got one of those guns once for like a gag thing. It was pretty funny.
Yeah.
What's maybe something that your team deals with that customers don't see?
So, we're lifting, a lot of stuff every single day. We go through safety brief every morning in our huddle. So it's, really important that the team takes care of each other, and the property that they're in. So when we're training, we talk about techniques of how to lift properly, communication to each other. If an item's too heavy to lift, to make sure you ask
Yeah.
for your team members' help. So those are the things that that we pride ourselves in, is our safety. And that people may not realize that this is like true hard labor
Yeah.
on our crew every single day.
Mm-hmm.
So
I would imagine, from like a business perspective, like the insurance that you've got to cover, like, was that a surprise to you? Of maybe, yeah.
yes, it's like,
would think
wow, I didn't realize how much I would be paying in insurance. Yeah, we have all the lines of insurance from our commercial auto, our general liability for our warehousing and
Right.
our property, to umbrella insurance, right, and our workers' comp,
Yeah.
right. So we're fully insured.
Yeah.
In case anything happens, then we,
Yeah.
then we're taken care of.
Was that your most surprising line item? Like, having been working corporate and then coming to running your own business, was the insurance like the biggest one? Like, man, I just really didn't realize this was going to be a part of what I need to spend money on.
It really was.
Yeah.
I didn't realize how much that I needed to budget for
Yeah.
those policies, and then what kind of coverage we would need.
Yeah. Is there anything else that comes to mind as something that's like, not necessarily like budget, but just about running a business that you didn't think about beforehand? Now it's like super obvious. Like, how did I not think about that? But before, it just wasn't something you were thinking about.
I'm a planner, so I always like to do my background, work and research. I guess just the day-to-day logistics I didn't realize would be so tedious. And then, training as well, right? So, I expect a lot from people around me, and
Yeah.
I expect a lot from my team. And so having a strong, solid team is very important. I didn't realize how much work would go into that.
Do you have or have you developed a filter when it comes to hiring team members and bringing people on to make sure you're bringing the right people on? Because small business, one person can really change the dynamic of the entire team. So I know it's super important to.
Yes, and I always do like a trial
Okay.
before I actually hire someone to make sure, that They work well with the team. They can keep up with the
Yeah.
team. They work well with their customers. They're on time and
You
reliable.
take them to the gym and see how much they can lift or something.
No, I kind of put them on the truck and put them to the test to make sure. Hey, are you up for this
Yeah.
job? This is not a clean job. I mean, sometimes we're in super nice homes
Yeah.
and those but we're in the dirt too, right? We're in and around dumpsters, compactors, and if you are sensitive to smells, then this is
Yeah.
not the job for you.
You get used to it.
Yeah, and like there's certain jobs that, like you were talking about earlier, that might have some biohazards. There is a certain extent where I'm like, okay, I got to cut the line here. We'll call in a biohazard team. But yeah, for the most part, I'm like, all right, put your Vicks vapor rub on your lip and wear a mask, to protect yourself so you're not breathing all this in. But that Vicks vapor rub does help a lot.
I had my uncle was an Atlanta City cop for years. I mean, he had it some time. I don't know if it was 5 to 10 years, but a point in time where he was a homicide detective.
Oh yeah.
And that's what I realized just from talking to him, that's why you see on TV with the cops are smoking cigars on when they go out, there's like a body, because if it's been there for a long time and ripe, I think ripe might have been the word that he used, but it's not just a TV thing, that's why they was, go out and smoke cigars to help cover up the smell. So it's maybe not the Vicks, but I'm not suggesting your team start
know,
smoking
right?
on the site, but it just reminded me of that story.
Interesting. Yeah. No, that makes a lot of sense. Yeah.
And the hat, there was something, they were like a fedora hat. That's how they know who the lead detective is. So that's why you had to have a hat out there on site.
Love
So,
it.
Very cool. What is the hardest part of your business that has nothing to do with hauling or taking stuff away?
It's probably sitting still, right? So like, sitting down, doing the planning. I mean, like I said, I am a planner, but like sitting down and doing the paperwork, I just didn't realize how much planning I would need to do. So I just got done with my 2026 budget and plans and goals for the new year, and I can't believe how much time I spent on that.
Yeah.
But it's very thorough. I mean, I did write a thesis, so so my mom made an emphasis on like, you need to get your grad degree. Whether you use it or not, it doesn't matter. It will prepare you in life more than you know. So she really pushed me to do that, and it has. Like, writing and sitting there doing those things is important for a business. You have to have a vision. You have to have a goal. And plan for, those hard times as well, right? So if it doesn't go according to plan, what am I going to do? Right? And so sitting there for lots of hours.
Yeah.
I'm not even going to say how many. I have a 15-page
Wow,
2026 plan.
What are the maybe highlights that you're willing to share from that, or what goals do you have for 2026 and beyond?
Yeah. So, scaling, right? So we're in super growth mode right now. And I'm in year number 5
Okay, yeah.
of my business. So now is that launch up. I'd love to get more trucks on the road, grow my team. And we're put out a referral program. So we're working on, on developing that and getting that out there so that people can not only help themselves by getting commission from referring to us, but also help us grow.
Okay. What's the biggest headwinds or challenges that are stopping you from doing that?
I guess time,
Yeah.
right? The effort is there. The intention is there. It's just making the time to do those things.
Yeah. Economy, I mean, it's something we've heard.
yes.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
How does that impact you guys? I mean, to me, it seems like this is a service that, like, you just, when you need it, you need it. And maybe it is a little bit more insulated from the economy, but I don't know, your reaction maybe makes me think that maybe it isn't as insulated as I thought.
Yeah, this year's been tough, right? So 2025, we haven't grown as much as I expected. For us to be in year, from year
Right.
4 to 5. So the economy has made an impact on, people's budgets,
Yep.
on what they're willing to spend, and then when they're willing to spend it.
Yeah. So when people come to you, they get a quote and they're like, I'm gonna go somewhere else. What does that typically like a competitor, or they just do it themselves, or what does that typically mean?
Typically, they're doing it
Yeah.
themselves.
Mhm.
Yeah. And that's tough on them because, I mean, either they're throwing it all away or they're having to spend their time, which,
Mhm.
their time is valuable too. Or, they're having to do all that research
Right.
to figure out who is going to take
Mhm.
this. And then, whereas we could come in and get it done for them
Right.
in like, a smaller job in an hour,
Mhm.
they're spending, 10, 15 hours driving
Yeah.
around
Mhm.
or, maybe not even finding anyone and getting a dumpster
Right.
and throwing everything
Mhm.
away, which is unfortunate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess that makes sense to why your bread and butter is that corporate client as well too, a little less sensitive to price and wanting to do it on their own.
That's right. Yeah. So, we take that burden off their team as
Mhm.
well. So we get it done for them quickly and they can, make a quick
Yeah.
turnaround.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Is there anything else as kind of we wrap up that maybe you want to share about your company, your team, or just maybe a lasting thought you'd like to leave the viewers with?
Yeah. So, I mean, I'm super involved with the community board of Because One Matters. It's a nonprofit helping families and children impacted by foster care.
Okay.
So that's something that's, I've been on the board for a year
Mhm.
now, maybe a year and a half. It was a year and a half. And so, just being a part of the community, helping different organizations is something that I love to
Mhm.
do. And so if anyone ever knows of anyone to connect me with that I can help, please reach out.
Okay.
We're also doing a toy, clothing, or a toy, coat, and children's book drive for the holidays. So if you'd like to donate, please let us know.
Yep. Well, cool. Maybe I can get a link for that. We can drop it on LinkedIn when I put this episode out, and be happy to help in any way we can.
Perfect. Thank you,
How
Carlos.
can people find you?
You can find me at junkluggers.com, on Instagram at Junkluggers of ATL Metro
Okay.
East, and I'm on LinkedIn as well at Lucy Mejia.
Awesome. All right. Well, thanks for coming in. I really appreciate it, and I'm looking forward to hear how 2026 goes for you guys.
Thank you,
All
Carlos. I
right.
appreciate you having me
Awesome.
today.
Thank you.